It's good though to get high.
That's right.
Thanks everybody again for joining us. This is the Real Ridiculous Podcast. I'm Shawn.
I'm Loren.
We got Doug on the show today. Got my brother Dom on the show. So boom. Today we're gonna be talking about all this bullshit, this fucking social justice fucking nonsense that's been happening like for the past what would you say, half a decade or more than a decade?
I'm trying to think back. I feel like it really started when I started paying attention to it. It started when Trayvon Martin got hit.
So
Way back
over a
then.
decade then.
Word. How long ago was that shit?
Over a decade.
Damn, for real?
Nah, I don't know. Hold on.
Nah, so that's 2012. So we'll say like 2012-ish.
All right. 2012-ish.
So that is a decade.
2022. I do the math. Yeah, sounds
That's a
good.
decade. He died February 26th. It's coming up on a decade, bro. So you fucktards have been fake for a decade now, and we hate y'all for it. I mean, me personally, I hate y'all for it. Hate is a strong word, and I'm not taking that shit back because you niggas really make me mad. Nah, so what were we just watching? That
Oh yeah,
that video.
Point of Privilege. That was like from 2 years ago. It's like a
Point of
Democrat.
privilege fucktards. Let's talk about it. So y'all explain that video.
So that's a Democratic Socialist convention. Yeah.
Democrats, I'm Republican now.
Damn. Easy switch.
I need my boy Big T back.
Doug, I'm dying to know, like, let's get your input on it. I kind of already know, but let me get you.
Yeah, it's funny, that video, I forgot what it was, what they were there for. Democratic socialism. That's one of those terms that cracks me up because I live in the land of Bernie Sanders and democratic socialism, and I like that just annoys me because the term itself, it makes no sense. Like what they're saying is, oh, we're different than socialism, where the government just has power over all industries in your country. No. See, we put the word democratic in front of that word socialism. So what that means is we voted to have the government have control over everything. So it's like there's really no difference. In the end, the government just has control over everything, the healthcare industry and the transportation industry, all industry. That's what that means. So it's dumb. And it's funny because like what Loren just said, oh, now I'm a Republican. That is what's been happening. People are saying, dude, if that's what it means to be a Democrat nowadays, or if that's what it means to be a liberal nowadays, then fuck that. I'm not aligned with any of those values. That shit's insane. So it's like that's a thing that's happening all over the place. Like,
Terrible.
I feel like one of the main problems with this, this is one of my first points. If you motherfuckers can change your gender, I can change my age. I'm gonna say I'm like 55, 60-ish. That's the problem with this people's generation, man. We don't take value in words and what they mean anymore. So you just explain how putting democratic in front of socialism is like, bro, it makes no sense. People don't care about Merriam-Webster and the definition of her words anymore, or they wouldn't be doing this bullshit. I have a problem with this generation, bro. And again, if you niggas can have chicks with dicks and say that they're whatever the fuck, I can change my age now. That's the world we live in. So I'm 55 now. Fuck y'all.
Dude, I was seeing a shrink a couple years ago, and I stopped seeing her, and the reason was I used the exact example you just gave. I don't even know. I was probably ranting to her about what I'm dealing with at my job, because this shit is crushing, like mentally, especially when like it has nothing to do with what my company does. We're a digital marketing company, and yet so much of the conversations in our meetings were hijacked and made about all of this social justice shit. It's like, dude, I'm a QA engineer. What the fuck are we talking about? Trans rights and all this other shit. So with my shrink, I brought it up, and I don't remember exactly how she fired back at me, but she said something like, "Oh, well, I do think if a man identifies as a woman, that they are literally a woman." And I go, "Wait a minute." I said, "So you're telling me right now, if I tell you I identify as a woman, you literally look at me the same way you look at yourself? You think that I am now part of all of what women had to struggle in, historically with, voting rights, and just think about all the shit women had to fight for and go through. You're going to see me in that same vein." And she's like, "Yeah." I go, "Wow." So I go, "What if I told you that I identify as a black woman? Would that work?"
Ooh.
And she kind of looked at me, And I'm like, 'cause what's and I'll go further. What if I said I'm a 75-year-old black woman? I mean, what's stopping you then from seeing me in that way? I said, clearly you would see that that's ridiculous, right? You would probably have to break it to me that I might have some sort of a mental illness here. If I'm seeing myself, with different genitals and different skin color and a different age, like, where does that stop? Why are you stopping at my gender? Like, in other words, you will believe if I say I have different genitals in my own mind, but you don't believe if I see myself as having a different skin color. Why? Like, you need to explain that to me now. And of course she couldn't. And I stopped seeing her because I'm like, dude, if your judgment and logic and reason is that off and skewed, I can't trust you to treat me medically. Like,
Right.
no way.
Doug, listen, man, listen. I'm gonna start bringing you everywhere I go. So when I say a rant ignorantly, you can say it in a better way. Because I've been saying that for like I'll say years now, but I guess the way I go about it, because clearly I just said chicks with dicks. I don't say it in a right way for people to
Yo, bro.
Bro, you just said that perfectly,
Awesome.
very well informed, but literally the whole thing, mental health. So if you go back, all this bullshit, the trans and the gay shit, all right, cool. That shit was in the DSM-4, DSM-5, and all that shit. I'm not certain, I have to look this up, but they may have taken it out. But this was classified as mental illness. Bro, I always say this quote, and it just goes over people's head. Well, I'll say it goes over people that don't use logic. It goes over their head. Life is simple. Humans make it hard. You got a penis and a vagina. You stick it in, a baby comes out. Point blank, period. 1 + 1 is 2 in my book. I can't speak for everybody else, but 1 + 1 is 2. So now you got niggas out here. Yo, matter of fact, I'm not even gonna. Let's go back to what we was talking about, bro.
Loren, you're spot on, man. And like, I had to inform myself on all of this. Like, I knew nothing. I was the most non-political. I didn't give a shit about any of this stuff because it's so foreign to me. Like, I didn't grow up. I didn't go to good schools. I don't relate to any of the people I work with. I was so confused when I started hearing all this shit a few years ago that I actually thought I agreed with a lot of it at first because I was so fucking ignorant. But what you were just talking about with the DSM, you are 100% correct. It was called gender dysphoria. If a man thought he was a woman, or if a woman thought she was a man, you were diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and you were treated for that mental illness. Now, that got turned into being a bigot if you call that person.
I was just about this, bro. I say this shit. They're like, "You're a bigot. You need to go with the times." Blah blah blah. It's like, go with the times. It's like, nah. Like, at this point, I just call people fucking idiots and I keep it moving, bro. I can't argue with niggas that don't use logic, bro. This is when I knew we were fucked, bro. I can't remember how many years ago, but there was this whole thing about motherfuckers being able to pee wherever they want. I guess if you're a man and you really feel like you're like a woman, bro, you can go pee in the girl's bathroom. It's like, bro, my nigga, like, there are veterans right now on the street going through it after putting in work for this country. There's homeless people going through it right now, and we're worried about peeing in a bathroom when you have a dick, bro. Why do you want it just doesn't make sense to me. But I say shit like this and I'm a bigot and I don't accept it. It's like I guess I am a bigot then. I want to be a bigot then. If that's the definition of a bigot, I am that. I am the definition of the.
Nope, that's the thing, man. You're not, and that's the thing is they've redefined, and like you were talking about, we used to defer to things like the Merriam-Webster's dictionary as a point of objective truth. One of the really gross aspects of this movement is they are trying to get rid of things like objective truth to make everything subjective. Everything's their lived experience, and therefore they silence you because, of course, if you agree to those terms, then yeah, we're just going to change the definition of what it means to be a bigot. So you referring to the diagnostic manual for mental health, which has been looked at as the objective source of truth, not that it's perfect, not that it can't change, of course, but what they're doing is so fucking perverted. They're perverting every definition that they don't like to meet what's comfortable for them. And that's kind of the way that I define the woke. And it is a cult. And one of the ways I define that is it's people who can't control their own emotions, so they try to control everyone else's behavior. So and what that does is it nerfs the world for them so that they don't have to feel quote unquote harmed. And they'll use these words, you know, trauma, violence. They equate words with violence, because if you can equate words with violence, now I can make this law potentially and make it the same as if I punched you in your face, which is it's ridiculous, of course. But because they're so effective with silencing people with this perverse fucking language, they're getting what they want. And it won't be too long before, like in Canada, that's what happened. They equated words with violence. So you could literally go to jail and be fined if you misgender someone, or if you use a word that somebody thinks is offensive, which of course, you know, that is so subjective, but doesn't matter. They passed a law. So you can actually go to fucking jail if you say something that's deemed offensive by another person.
I want this on wax. I want everybody to know this shit. What Doug just said, I fuck with that. That shit is wild. Your research, your mind, you're very wise, sir. If you, I'm trying to think of how to word this so people get a clear understanding of what I'm trying to say. With what Doug just said, if you agree with the laws being passed and words being offensive and motherfuckers can go to jail over that shit, you're a tool bag loser, herb, scumbag, douchebag, piece of shit. And if I ever see you on the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Take that for violence. Take that for violence, bro. I'm so dead ass.
I mean, it's at the point where, I mean, and I'm doing this. I'm practicing what I preach. I mean, I've put my job on the line a couple of times, speaking out in meetings with thousands. You know, add it all up, it's thousands of people. It's like, look, I'm not speaking up to just be a contrarian. I'm not speaking up just to argue with people. I'm speaking up because I see how dangerous this all is and where it's going, and it's nowhere good. None of this shit is resulting in a better environment for anybody, least of all the groups they're claiming to be fighting for, which is such bullshit. It's all virtue signaling. They don't give a shit about any of the quote unquote marginalized groups that they speak about, which you know, that's a whole other argument. But it's at the point, Loren, where it's no more complicated than what you're saying. The way you're describing it, you're dead on. It's not more complicated than that. And it's at the point where you do need to just start speaking up and going, no, fuck you. I'm not agreeing to that. I'm not a fucking bigot. I'm not going to agree to your ridiculous redefinitions of every word in the dictionary. No, like, fuck you. Like, we're at that point.
Yo, it's like refreshing to hear that you basically agree with everything I'm saying. Because I say this to a lot of people. I know Shawn agrees with me. Maybe like so Shawn agrees with me and he'll speak up about it. Other people who agree with me in silence, and that shit is fucking annoying. Like I be feeling like I'm going crazy in this world, bro, trying to like express myself, and I'm telling niggas like, yo, this isn't the way. Like, think about it. We're going down a bad path, and everybody's like, nah, no, we're not. They just don't fucking see it, bro. And it's like, I'm like, yo, did y'all take? It's like the Matrix, B. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, Shawn, I know he good. Dom, I don't know about you. I don't know if you feel this way and shit. Actually, I know you do. I don't know. I'm just, yo, my mind is like full off right now.
I most definitely agree with you, Doug and Loren. You know, the danger is also they're not telling you that a lot of these people regret and they detransition, and they're fighting against the transition process for younger people to even know that they are that different, and they're not saying that. There's even not to mention this, it's a reality show, and she's been on this reality show since she was about 5 years old when he knew that she was a girl. She's going through a lot of stuff now where everyone know who she is. Boys don't want to date her because of who she is. And there's some regret that she has had now.
Who's that?
Jazz.
Oh,
I Am Jazz.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, and you know, there's things where her family, her brothers try to dress up in drag with her to make her feel, you know, have like this safe space with them.
Yeah.
But the reality is there's a lot of people detransitioning.
Yeah.
There's the way I sound now because of laryngitis, but there's a YouTuber and she's a woman and she talks just like this and she has to live talking like this the rest of her life because of hormone pills. And now she's dating men again, but now it's harder for her because all of these things. The breast tissue she got rid of. Everything.
Damn.
And this person's only 22 years old.
I'm glad you brought up
So-
that detransitioning. Doug, you sent me a video with Debra Soh?
Yep.
And yeah, I watched that whole clip, man, and she mentions like detransitioning, like amongst trans yeah, you know, that whole thing where they transition early because their parents are like, oh yeah, they're all for it, you know?
Mhm.
Idiots.
And it's
Yep.
like that's the thing that nobody talks about is like what Dom said is like, you know, that whole detransitioning thing that's happening more and more commonly because they're in their like as kids they were told it's okay, like this is the route in order to deal with your you know, uncomfortable, like I feel uncomfortable in my body because I'm a woman or whatever. Now I want to become a man because my friend came out. You know, it's like a fad. You know what I mean? Like, and then the parents are encouraging it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? You know?
Parents are literally letting kids mutilate themselves for a fucking fad, bro.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's why it's like this narcissism in these parents too, where I mean, look, I work with people. They give what do you call it? Like they'll have meetings, you know, again, and it has nothing to do with what my company does. And it's not just my company that's doing this. I mean, I got friends that work for, you know, Microsoft and, you know, some of the biggest tech companies in the country. It's going on at all these companies where some parent wants to tell you how they're raising their kid genderless and how their 5-year-old you know, doesn't identify, they're non-binary. And it's like,
Weirdo shit.
exactly. And I'm like, bro, why are you proud of this? And why are you using your kid to get attention? Like, what kind of narcissism is in your fucking head? Like your 5-year-old barely knows how to wipe their ass and you think they know about gender?
Kids don't even know if they like vegetables yet. You
Exactly.
get to choose whether they have a dick or not. I can't fuck with you niggas, bro.
And it's like even the kids who are getting like into puberty, and Debra Soh talks about this. And by the way, she's like a legitimate scientist, and she left the field of academia because all of this was infiltrating biology. In other words, fellow colleagues of hers who are sexual biologists were starting to get rid of like gender terminology and sex terminology in their actual work, trying to
Weirdo shit.
exactly. And it's like, you know, that can lead to direct harm in medicine and in the studies that they're involved in. And by the way, Debra Soh, she's a minority in several ways. She's a woman, she's Asian, and she's a lesbian. So it's like you'd think they would again, and this proves why this movement is bullshit virtue signaling. They only prop the people up that agree with them. They're only fighting for the quote unquote oppressed that they deem to be the oppressed. So it's like, you know, it's supposed to be about minorities and women and gay and lesbian. Well, here you go. You got a woman, lesbian, not, you know, not white, but because she has the wrong think, she dissents from the narrative. Well, she's complicit then in all of the, you know, white supremacist and homophobic and transphobic ideas that we're adhered to. So they have these cute ways to explain non-white people or non-males who disagree with them. They'll just say, oh, well, they're complicit or they're adjacent to the systems of power that we're trying to dismantle. Debra Soh also explains most of the children who go through puberty and might feel confused about their sexuality, overwhelmingly, they end up just becoming gay. So if you don't put them on hormones and you don't get, you know, surgical manipulations to their body done, if you just let them go through puberty and get into their late teens and 20s, they just end up becoming gay or lesbians. They were never going to be, you know, trans. So they're ruining these people's lives.
Yo, the craziest part thinking back, and I'm definitely gonna be that old timer that says back in my day. My nigga, I was more worried about getting this Charizard and Kangaskhan off and trading for a Blastoise than if I liked girls or not. Like girls had cooties to me. I don't give a fuck about y'all. Pokemon cards over girls. Like I don't care. In my teen years, I'm more worried about Master Chief and Halo than if I'm gay or not. Like this niggas are weird nowadays, bro. Like we weren't dealing with this bullshit, son. Why is this a thing? I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's a good question, man. I mean, most of it was born in these elite universities. You know, kind of a scattered brain, high level view of it. It was a lot of those hippies back in the 60s and 70s, who were protesting against the Vietnam War, and by the way, that generation, those hippies, those were the children of the men and women who really did have to go through some serious shit. World War I, World War II, extreme race, real deal systemic racism that was going on back in those days. So those children, though, they grew up with with the benefits of not having to deal with that shit. They grew up really privileged, and so they got into the universities, though. They became teachers and professors in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and they started indoctrinating, not educating, anyone who went through the university system in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And all of these ridiculous ideas just got deeply embedded into decades now of people who are having children themselves and have been having children themselves. And those children are what we're now seeing, freaking us out, going like, what the fuck? I didn't grow up like this. And these kids are now getting into corporations. They're getting, positions of power, so to speak, and dictating all this shit to us that was spoon fed to them by their parents, who certainly were privileged and got indoctrinated, again, not educated, into all these ridiculous ideas.
This shit is disgusting. And I don't want no parts of it. I have no ties to none of that weirdo shit, bro. At all.
And, to piggyback on what you said, Doug, overall, I don't think people understand or really care that there's mass confusion. And when you take a step back and look at the bigger scheme of things in life and what we have to go through day to day, go to work, pay our bills, go through the shit, they're adding things that detaches you from yourself. And this is just another ploy in doing so. And especially for a group that's a minority, that, they're a minority and they're making a majorative thing, and people are just going along with it, man. It's just like anything right now. People just rather go along with it because it's easier to exist than to fight against something.
Mm-hmm.
They rather fall for nothing than stand up for something, and it's unfortunately, our offspring or later generations, they will pay for this. Just like with the baby boomers, as you said, Doug, that generation, their parents actually had some grit to them. They actually went through something, the Great Depressions and all of that, actually having to go to war, not to knock Vietnam, but even that in itself. You look at the sexual revolution. That whole sexual revolution was one of the most meaningless revolutions ever. It did nothing. Casual sex has never been the greatest thing. Now, obviously, things happen when you meet people, but to show how they damage generations as they're doing now, you have illegitimate children.
Yep.
You have pair bonds that will forever be broken. Now you have people saying, well, you know what? We're just fucking. Oh, you can't get over it? We just fucked. So the fact that I was inside you and we liked each other, because it's one thing if it was just a fun thing, but we liked each other, and you're knocking someone for having a tough time to get over certain things because there was an attachment. It goes to show you the damage right there and what's basically going to carry throughout generations and generations, because this transgender thing, especially women try to back out now. Women were always behind gays, and now some of them want to back out as if they never supported them, but it's too late. And they're not going to like it until future generations starts fucking everybody, where it doesn't matter if you have a specific genital. The fact that you have a hole and you look female or you have feminine tendencies, that's going to be good enough for the next generations.
Dude, that's the man, I'd like to actually talk about that, because I'm not that I would have too much to offer to it, but the sexual revolution thing you just brought up, that's, again, I was ignorant on that. That's something I thought like I agreed with, and it must have been a really good thing. But you just said it, man. Like once I started to look into it, and I still am, I'm still reading about it. There's been more negatives that were born out of that than positives, and which is crazy. Again, I thought, like, how could that be? I thought that was a huge positive thing, and it's like I never considered the emotional toll it took and the damage that it's done, and it does tie in to all of this woke shit.
Yes, it does.
Shit is sad. We ain't even talk about the diseases and shit that manifested from.
There you go, Loren. Yep.
A whole nother story.
because that spawned right in that moment with the sexual revolution. I mean, that spawned, you have some of these baby boomers, and I'm not going to knock all of them because I have a certain love-hate feeling towards them, because they talk as if, they weren't the catalyst to what's going on, and their generation was, and they were privileged, as you said, Doug, because they got to reap what their parents laid for them. So for them, it was just existing. It was a fun time, but it came with consequences. That fun. A lot of them has raised fucked up people, and they don't want to admit that. They want to just act like, oh man, my time was different. You always hear people like that. My time was different, and these kids are crazy. They're shooting, and well, they came from the crack era. I mean, where you were doing crack and sleeping with countless women or countless men, and then HIV spawned and other diseases spawned from that while you were getting high, because the drugs also tied into the sexual revolution. So now you're having babies in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, even 90s, and it was a drug era. And as the 80s came, it became about, which, maybe it was in the 70s, but I know in the 80s, it was me, me, me. It's all about me, what I want. And that's all that has gotten to, which is now with the Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions, the Doja Cats. It's all about that now.
Low key, I blame men for that. Because men, this got one of my bullet points, men simping and shit. And I mean, this is no disrespect to the ladies, like, do your thing, but men putting women on this high ass pedestal, it's like, dog, it's, in my opinion, is backfiring on us, because
It
now
is.
you got chicks that'll I had a girl DM me, this was like months ago. Yo, I gotta get my nails done. Can you cash out me $20? I was like, bitch, first of all, I have a girlfriend. Second of all, I don't even know you. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, men are putting women on such a pedestal and just giving them money and the OnlyFans and all this other nut shit
Yeah.
that they feel like very, very, very entitled. So you got the Cardi B's talking about, I get this nigga for money, blah, blah, blah. Girls hearing that over and over again, over and over again. They're like, I'm gonna do it too. And
Yep.
they're successful. Because like men are out here simping over these chicks. Like, fuck that, bro.
Yeah, there's a component to that emasculating men, and it's this ridiculous, like they conflate assholes with this toxic masculinity idea. So if you're a man and you're just acting like a man, you're acting masculine, they'll call that toxic, and they'll call that you're being oppressive to women. But always notice too, because even as I'm describing this shit, I already know what they'd be saying. And it cracks me up how incoherent their arguments are. It's like, on the one hand, man can be a woman if he says so. On the other hand, you're being oppressive to women if you're just exhibiting your natural masculine traits that you have because you're a man. And it's
Right.
like, it's so hard to keep all this shit in mind when you're communicating with these people, because the topics jump so quickly and it's so incoherent. And like, Loren, you're a rational dude, and I can hear the frustration that that's coming out of you, because you're coming up against very irrational, illogical people, and you're being told you're the fucking problem, and it's not true. And the other problem is, yeah, the nuance you were describing, how the sexual revolution blended in with with the drug era, the crack era, how that blended in with HIV. That is what's missing from every fucking conversation about anything related to what the woke claim to speak up against. Notice how overly simplistic everything they fucking talk about is. And what you were just doing is explaining how we got there. There's so much nuance. It's not a simplistic history that led to all this stuff. There's so much to it. So then if you're like in Loren's position, just feeling frustrated and in trying to defend just basic logic principles, you then have to realize, fuck, I got to go study women's revolution. I got to go study the civil rights era. I got to go study world economics and how that affected this and that. It's like, it's overwhelming. And like Dom, like you were saying, dude, most people don't have time for this shit. They got to put fucking food on the table. They're trying to raise their kids. They're trying to live their life, mind you, too.
Right.
That's a fact. That's a bro. And no
That's what
bullshit.
they bank on. My
Word.
bad, Lauren, but that's what they bank on. They know we're busy. They know we have lives, so they put this mass confusion out, man. You know, and if you're not there to raise your kids because you got to work, you got the TV and society raising them. You know, which is sad.
I was just saying that the other day. The kid starts crying and annoying their parent. They give them, hey, go play with that iPad. Go over there. Go watch this. It's like you're letting technology raise your kid, bro. I think I was saying this to Sean. They letting technology raise their kids. It
Yeah,
shit don't make no sense. Now me, I was told go play outside. Way better. I made friends. I was doing cardio and shit. Now these kids, oh, go play Fortnite. It's like, my nigga, what? Like, bunch of weirdo shit, bro.
yeah,
But
man.
this is what I was gonna say. It's gotten to the point. I've been singing the same tune since 2015. It's gotten to the point where I feel like my mental and mind state is just superior and above and beyond a lot of people on this world. You three are in the clear. I fuck with y'all. But anybody else that I can tell that mentally and logically they don't get what I'm talking about, I just look at that. I don't look at them as less than a person, but it's just like a yo, you're a fucking idiot, bro. So you don't deserve my words. You probably don't even deserve to smell my fart. That's how I think of people now. They're
Nah,
so
man.
fucking retarded. Like they can't comprehend simple shit. Like I keep saying, 1 + 1 is 2 in my book. If you can't comprehend that, I just can't have a conversation with you. Time is money, and I can't be here.
They can smell your fart, Lauren. You can give them
Nah, they
give them a
don't
chance.
deserve to smell what I just ate and is excreting through my butthole. That's how I think of these people, bro.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna piggyback over this, Lauren. You explained it beautifully, man. Now, like you said, 1 + 1 is 2. You look at, since you're an educator, and you know this more, Lauren, than most of us. Although for some of us who have kids, we know this, but you were an educator. Now you have the system teaching kids to get to solve math problems in a roundabout way that's not important. And you see what the confusion is. Instead of going 1 + 1 is 2, and this is how you apply it, going to the store and paying your bills and managing a checkbook. No, we're going to waste time and show you a roundabout way that is meaningless. And that's what society has done with most of everything.
Mhm.
Bro, you are 100% right. I remember seeing, yo, I taught for like 3 years, so I was in the system. I saw all this shit. The way that they would learn division and multiplication, I would walk around because like I'm the cool coach. I'm the gym teacher, so I'll walk around and make sure they're doing their work. I'm looking at their paper and I'm like, my G, why didn't you just do one blah 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 blah? And that's the answer. And they were like, they didn't teach us that way. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I would go to teach them the easy way and I would get like reprimanded for it. It's like, that's not in our curriculum. That's not how we teach. And I'm like, my nigga, like, all they have to do is this, and they're done. Not this, and they're done. This is why fucking China is, yo, China's mad good at math. I saw a YouTube video of how they do addition, multiplication, division, and all that shit. It's like, boom, they're done. But America, fucking idiots, first world problems and shit. We go about this roundabout way of doing things. It's like, and I say this all the time. I used to be joking when I said this, but now I'm dead ass serious. I see why ISIS wants to bomb us. I agree. I hope they do. I pray ISIS wins every day, bro. America is shit. We are shit. Like I said in the Brazil episode, I saw people with much less doing much more, bro. This
Mhm.
shit's crazy.
Bars.
I mean,
America.
but we're fucked, man. I mean, I have a really pessimistic view on the like. I personally don't think there's any way to bring people back right now. The division is so deep. We don't even agree on like shared values in this country. Not that it was, again, it's not that this was ever a fucking utopia and everyone always agreed, but we generally had a sense of what we were all sort of striving for, and that's gone. You know, when you have a society who can't even understand what it means to be male or female anymore, or when it's an argument, it's something that people are arguing about, you're done. Like,
You're
you're
done,
fucked.
bro. That ass. Yo, you're totally right. I said this a while ago too. Like, yo, people thought the world was getting better. I see it as getting worse. And I used to be a fan of it, but yo, I blame technology as well for all this bullshit that's going on. Like I see a few positives in technology, but I see more cons than pros nowadays. Shit is sad, bro.
Yeah, that well, like Dom said earlier, it's a minority that got a gigantic microphone, and I think that lines up with what you just said. You know, social media in particular gave them this massive microphone to get these extreme viewpoints out. That again, the language that they use was so effective that I was even falling for it a couple of years ago. just, disagreeing immediately means you're a racist, bigot, this and that. And nobody wants to be labeled that. So everyone just shut up and fell silent because they're like, well, shit, I don't want to be labeled that. Like, I got a job, I got kids, whatever. But it is this minority of extreme views that is leading the majority. And it's simply because people are just not doing what we're doing right now. They need to just speak up and say no and talk. If they did that, this would go away. I mean, it's always going to live in some regard, I think, but it would not be dictating the most powerful companies on this planet, which I got to say, it's so funny to me how most of the woke claim to be fighting systems of power and this quote unquote system. It's like, motherfucker, you guys are the system. You're steering every major academic institution in this country, every major corporation. You literally have them all by the fucking balls and you know it. And you claim to be fighting the system? Like, you are the fucking system.
Literally. This shit is crazy, bro. This shit is scary. But like me, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I'm about to be licensed to carry. You know what I mean? Anybody come fuck with me, bang, shot to the knee. I don't care anymore, bro. I said my piece. You figure 2015 is what? 7 years ago, I've been saying the same thing, and it's just been going over people's heads. Every time I try to, and it sounds sad, every time I try to go on rants in my group chats, they're like, "We not trying to hear that bullshit." Okay, cool. So now when shit hits the fan, and you niggas are running to my house for shelter, nah, you getting shot too. You was right along with them, just going with the bullshit. Okay, cool. Definitely. Come on, man. Like, nope, take this gunshot, bro. You was fucking with that shit. I'm out. I cannot wait for shit to hit the fan so I can sit back with my Slim Jims eating them shits watching everybody die, bro. Can't
Yeah.
wait. I can't wait, bro. It's everything's gonna hit the fan. I'm just gonna be sitting here laughing at niggas, bro.
Well, you're not. I don't think you're far off, man. I mean, you mentioned earlier, back to the Merriam-Webster's. It wasn't redefined in the I think it was redefined in 2018. But regardless, the definition of anti-vax is anyone who's against mandated vaccines. That's when I was like, wait a minute, like, what the fuck does that mean exactly? I can get the vaccine but if I'm against mandating it, that labels me as an anti-vaxxer. I work for a gigantic corporation that mandated it, and I again spoke up. And I have to say though, like, me speaking up and saying I'm against mandating, but then showing my papers, I'm a bitch. I'm simping to this fucking corporation. If I really meant it, I'd quit. And that's a struggle that I know so many people, again, behind the scenes, nobody's saying it publicly, they're dealing with that, because it's like some of them didn't want to get the vax, some of them did get it, but like me, they're against mandating it. Or like now, I have no intentions of ever getting a booster. I follow as much of the quote unquote science. I know that's like fucking annoys me to hear people saying that at this point. The I believe in science crowd. It's like, no, you don't. You cherry pick the shit out of what you want to believe when it comes to the science. But it's like, from what I'm seeing, I never have any intentions of getting a booster to this thing again, but I'm going to be fired if I don't. I know they're going to mandate it at some point.
Eventually, you're going to have to make a choice whether to lose your job or fold again.
Yeah.
Yo, so we gonna go back because this just runs in my mind all the time. And like I said, I'm a logical person. 1+1 is 2. But this is how retarded people are, bro. When COVID first started, the vaccine dropped. It dropped a little quick. So, what I mean? People like me, y'all, and a few others are like, that was kind of quick for a quote unquote vaccine. Keyword, please keep that in mind. For a vaccine to drop. Whatever, cool. So, me, I read, I write a little bit. And I'm thinking, when I had to go to school, elementary school, middle school, high school, they asked, is he vaxxed? So I was like, you know what? I never really looked into what I got vaxxed for. Let me look it up. So we got measles, mumps, and correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right now?
Yeah.
Or measles, mumps, and well, I'll leave it at that. Cool. That's a vaccine, right? Okay, cool. So fast forward, we're seeing the first it started, it was stop the spread, do your part. Remember all that bullshit?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, do your part. All right, cool. So now I'm seeing everybody just shoot that heroin up, shoot that quote unquote vaccine up. I'm like, okay. But it's kind of early, but I'm gonna let people do what they want to do. People think that women with dicks are whatever. I'm gonna let them do what they do. So now you fast forward, it's like, yo, if you get the vaccine, this is what threw me off. It threw me for a loop, tickled me pink, bro. If you get the vaccine, you can go to the Bronx Zoo for free.
Mm.
I'm like, first of all, niggas will never see me in the bum ass Bronx. Fuck the Bronx, my nigga. Second of all, for free, I get to go to a zoo for free if I inject heroin in me. Okay, cool.
Incentive.
Fast forward again. If you get the vaccine, you don't got to wear a mask anymore, my niggas. Praise God, we good. We made it out the hood, y'all. We don't got to wear masks no more. Okay. People started shooting up some more. Then niggas gonna hit us with the psych. Nah, you still gotta wear a mask though. Okay, that's weird. I thought it was a vaccine, and when you get a vaccine, it cures. Okay, never mind. Fast forward again. It's not stop the spread. It's so it lowers the symptoms and shit, right? Okay. Hmm. Now I'm hearing if you got the vaccine, the first vaccine, it don't even matter no more. If you don't get these boosters, little nigga, it don't even matter. You got to get these boosters now, or it doesn't even count anymore. So now I'll end here. This is my whole point. Measles and mumps. I got the quote unquote vaccine for that. I never got that shit in my life. People are out here getting a quote unquote vaccine and boosters just to still get COVID. I'm confused.
Mm.
Confused. Yeah, and you got to wear a mask. So you niggas fell for the okey doke. But my whole point is, you motherfuckers are not going by the definition of words. Here we go. Merriam-Webster, a vaccine, bro. Look up you guys don't even deserve me to say what the definition of a vaccine is. Look up what vaccine means, and you tell me if that's the shot that you're getting right now. It's not, idiot. That's why they have something called a flu shot. Because they don't know about the variants and all that shit, blah, blah, blah. It's not a fucking vaccine. And you niggas fell for that shit. Fuck y'all. COVID turned you niggas into bitches. Oh wait, but that's cool nowadays. So I can't calling people bitches doesn't even matter no more because they want to be. Yo, I'm so confused now, bro.
That's part of it too, man. People are begging to be treated like children. They're begging to be treated like bitches. Like that's absolutely happening.
This shit is wild. But it's like I say this shit and I'm ignorant. I'm a bigot. I'm a douchebag, scumbag, asshole. And it's like if that's the case, I want to be those things. I don't want to be equivalent to any of these people in this world anymore, bro. It's all this weirdo shit. Mad weirdo shit.
I know it's pretty obvious, but how you guys feel about those terms like cisgender?
Bro, I'm gonna say this right
Fucking
now.
hate
For
it.
that binary shit,
Fucking
binary, cis. Listen, the only binary I know is coding through computers or whatever. I don't know none of that nut shit. All I know is binary coding. That's it.
Ones and zeros.
ones and zeros.
Ones and zeros, my nigga.
Damn.
It's totally unnecessary. I'm not going to call myself anything. That's so unnecessary. Just to what? To make it again to make 0.8% of the population. Look, I'm going to use this might be a dumb example, and I'm doing it kind of off the top of my head. Like, I had my asshole removed and my colon removed, right? So.
Yeah.
I don't have an asshole. I don't take a shit the way normal people do anymore. This would be like me going around and protesting and demanding that all bathrooms be changed to accommodate me, right? I'm not, and here's the thing, like, it is a little inconvenient to like empty your bag in a public restroom, right? It's not ideal, but I'm not going to make everyone change society for this tiny proportion of society that I'm a part of that has to empty a fucking ostomy bag in public. That's absurd to me. Like, that is so. There's like there's like a narcissistic component to that. What is
Yeah.
everything about me? No, it's not. I'm not going to demand that everything in society change because I'm in this extreme minority of people that have to live a little bit differently.
Oh, I was just gonna say you could just dump that in the sink, Doug. Just dump it. And I say that to trans also, man. Y'all could just dump it in the sink. Male, female, whatever. Just walk in, dump that shit in the sink, and just walk out. You good. So
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, with all that's going on, and I'm just gonna say it, because they're sneaky, and I'm not saying because they're women they're sneaky, but if you watch how white women talk about white men and act like they didn't benefit from what white men did, and act like they're backing marginalized people, yo, just listen and watch their bullshit. It's like, I've always hated this. When it's said to a black person who doesn't agree with homosexuality, they say, "Oh well, If you don't agree with that kind of, you think it's okay to hate gays? I mean, was it okay to hate black people? It's like, wait a minute, you come from that. I couldn't even look your way and think you're attractive without me getting my ass kicked. Like,
Yeah.
and then, oh, you're a white male, you cisgendered white male. What are you talking about? You're full of hate, you white male. I'm just like, what? So that's how you feel about your dad and your brother and your uncles? What about you? You're the one that's the most privileged out of anyone in this world. The white man gave you everything and you shit in his face because they're going to get it at some point, but they teeter-tot on this shit. And with the women's lib movement with Susan B. Anthony, um, they were mad because black men were able to vote and they weren't. And see, black women and other women don't know that.
Facts, bro.
And it's like, so you over here supporting them, but they didn't even like you. It was like, wait a minute, you let niggers vote, and I'm fucking white. How dare you? And this is what this shit kicked off. So you have a lot of women of color who don't understand what the fuck is going on, and they're just being spoon-fed bullshit. Meanwhile, I'll tell you, this white woman, and I'm not saying all, it's never all, but whoever's at the forefront of this, they're leading this brigade, knowing damn well what they're doing. So they teeter-tot on the gender issues. They teeter-tot on, oh, you're a white male. Like, that shit kills me, yo. I mean, and obviously there's bad people in this world. There are some bad white men, you know what I'm saying? But when I hear that, bro, I bust out laughing. I'm like, what the fuck is that? You cisgendered white male demon. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, that's a good way to segue into something else I wanted to talk about where, like, I think me and Doug talked about this where, like, you're automatically deemed racist just because you're a white male.
And cisgendered.
Oh, yeah, cisgendered, yeah.
That it's been said to me, in the workplace, when everything lit off in early 2020, in one of the meetings I was in, and Dom, you're totally right. It came from a white woman, which I'm sitting there on this call, gritting my teeth and biting my tongue because I'm like, holy shit, there's something to that. A lot of the most powerful woke and a lot of this movement is being led by these wealth privileged white women.
Yep.
Who are, I still struggle with, like, how anyone non-white listens to it without seeing the phoniness that I see it. I mean, it's so phony. It's all virtue signaling. There's no substance to it. There's no real care in anything that they're talking about. But yet, even non-white people seem to be afraid in silence, pushed into silence, bullied into silence, the way that white cisgendered men were a couple of years ago. And that's always kind of confuses me. I'm kind of looking around like, would somebody black, maybe a black woman, speak up and shut this other woman up? Like, what the fuck? Because nobody cares about my opinion anymore. Whatever. It's confusing to listen to sometimes, but I'm seeing some signs of hope a little bit in that realm. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, like, John McWhorter, his new book, Woke Racism. I've been following that guy for a couple of years. And here's the funny shit too, man. The opposite of what the woke wanted to happen is happening for a lot of people, and I'm one of them. This has led me, I wouldn't say I've been red-pilled, but a little bit. Many of the authors that I've been reading in the last few years are people that I didn't think I agreed with anything on. And when I would first hear them talk in any of the podcasts that I listened to, just like John McWhorter, I don't know if you ever, he's a very eloquent, super privileged sort of tone to his voice, but he's a black guy, right? Yeah. So right away, he's kind of deemed as, part of the problem. He's been called a white supremacist by, anyone in the woke movement, which is hilarious to me. But point is, I guess, to wrap it back around, there is some hope in how do I want to say it? It's like, unfortunately, I think it is true that for this woke movement to be pushed back and put back in its place, unfortunately, it is going to have to be more black people speaking up. And it's because of how effective this movement was initially with, trying to silence anyone white, and in particular, if you're a white guy, a white male. I don't think it should matter who the pushback comes from, but it is more effective when black people stand up and push back against a lot of that shit. It just is.
Nah, I totally agree. Oh, yo, I've seen people do it, and people I know do it, and I gotta say, fuck y'all. So you can't you can't equivalate the black struggle to the gay struggle at all. So
Thank you.
I'm gonna break this down for the idiots and the fucktards, man. I'm a dude. I like girls. I would date a girl. I have a girlfriend right now. At the end of the day, dating someone, what are you gonna end up doing? This is a question for y'all. If you see a girl that you like, you've been talking to her for a week, what is something that you hope to do at the end of the day?
Have sex with them.
Not get
Boom, boom, bang. You want to fuck?
I was gonna say not get put on charges.
You trying to fuck? All right, cool. So let's say I'm a guy that likes guys. Find that guy attractive. At the end of the day, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to fuck. Pause. Black people were fighting to prove that we were human beings. Gay people are fighting to do a sexual act and have it be okay at the end of the day. You could hide that you're gay. I can't hide that I'm black, bro. I'm gonna say that again for the idiots that want to tune this out. You can hide that you're gay. I can't hide that I'm black. I never seen a gay person be 1/5 compromise or whatever the fuck that was back in the day. I've never seen a gay person be 1/5 a person. We weren't even a full person, yet you want to equate you not being able to sling dick to another dude that has dick. I can't. It's just. Do you see where the logic is, bro? I don't see the logic. So, like I said, you cannot equivalate the black struggle to the gay struggle. We are proving, well, we were proving and we're fighting to prove that we were human beings. You are proving and fighting that you want to do a sexual act and want to be accepted for it. End of story. You can't tell me no different. If you disagree, eat a bowl of baby dicks.
Fucking
Yeah, that's if you want to bore yourself, not just bore yourself, but have your mind explode even more. Intersectionality is part of the woke movement, and it's pretty much grabbing any victim class you can think of, which really is infinite because they make up new ones all the time, and equating a lot of their struggles so that it's more of a united piece of the movement itself. I might not be doing the best.
James Brown impression. No, I'm just
Yeah. Yeah, intersectionality though. Read a little bit about that, and it explains how the woke try to tie all these victim classes together, and yeah, and like you just said, it's illogical, and it at the end of the day, it's not helping any of the real problems, and that gets overlooked constantly.
Facts. Shit crazy out here, man.
What do you think about that video where that girl was talking about fucking J.K. Rowling into a tiny little mic?
Oh my god,
How you feel about that? That tiny little mic piss you off?
it goes into my whole first world problems. Like, I don't want to sound like this. I don't even want to say this, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
If you this is very ignorant, and I know I'm ignorant saying this. If you're white, you just need to smile, bro. Because like, there's a lot of problems you aren't going through. White women and men. There's a lot of problems you aren't going through that a lot of people are. So if you're going through something in a day, just smile by being white. Second of all, that girl in there, there's the main definition of first world problems. She took the time out to address a billionaire, first of all,
Yup.
because she
Made some
I'm
tweets.
gonna leave it at that. She took the time out of her day to say all of that shit, just to it to lead to nothing, bro.
So give a little context. Like, so this girl has made like not just that one video, but numerous fucking videos trying to take down J.K. Rowling's because she feels like that the Harry Potter books are like subconsciously ruining the fucking society that we are in right now. Like numerous videos, and like I guess like J.K. Rowling's have also been tweeting on Twitter, so she's personally making it her life's work to like get her banned from Twitter because that's more of a realistic goal.
There's literally a kid in Africa right now, like begging for water, bro. And there's a girl in the U.S. complaining about J.K. Rowling. That's a problem for her. This is why I don't give a fuck anymore, man. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that I saw a few weeks ago too. J.K. Rowling, um, she's supportive of trans rights and gay and lesbian rights, but she does believe in biology, right?
Right.
So I don't know if that, I'm not familiar with the girl you're speaking of that went after her there, but I read a bit about that. And again, here's a woman creates this $1 billion franchise, which made millionaires out of how many people? I don't even know. I know I've never seen those movies, but I know that the kids in those movies went on to become enormously famous. So, she builds this entire universe that people are in love with. It's like this joyful thing for people all over the world. Doesn't matter what color you are, and nothing. It's like everyone loves those movies and books. But because she says, no, I think men are men and women are women, and a trans woman is a biological man,
Right.
that makes her a demon. That makes her wrong think, and therefore, let's cancel her. Let's go after her. It's insanity.
And those are fiction. Like the books are fiction. Let's
Literally.
let's keep that in mind. So it's just like, but it's all about the subconscious, backdooring people, I guess.
Oh, to bring up another video, Sean, I sent that to you. The one
Yeah.
where the girl's lady took a shit at the park.
Oh,
Yo, the dog.
the dog.
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give context. And I'm gonna let y'all know what I would have done in that situation.
Yeah.
There's a lady in a park walking her dog. Not a dog park, a park where people are jogging, running, etc. Her dog takes a shit in the middle of where people are walking. She does not pick it up. She just lets it sit there. Man comes over, confronts her. Yo, pick up the poop. Like, what are you doing? We all walking here. That's mad messed up. It's against the law anyway. Like, you can get fined for that shit. Just pick up the poop. Pick up the poop. Lady says, oh, you want me to pick it up? She picks up the dog's feces and throws it at the man.
Mm.
Now, give some more context. There are people around watching this shit.
Yep.
They don't yell at the lady for throwing the poop at the man. They yell at the man for swinging at the lady.
So yeah, that brings up a good point though. It's like as a man, I mean, as anybody though, it's like, yo, what do you do in that situation if you're getting feces thrown at you?
Yo, I'm telling you what I'm doing. So to add more context, and this is why I got mad.
I mean,
Nobody got mad at the people.
but you got
Nobody got mad at the lady for throwing the shit at the person. They got mad at the dude for swinging at the lady
for swinging.
for swinging. They're like, "Oh, that's a woman. Stop." What? Yo, let me say, if Duff was there, if Lauren Arrington was there, I would have beat the dog shit out of that lady, bro. You're not gonna throw feces at me just because you're too lazy to pick it up, and I call you out for it, bro. Chris Brown did Rihanna dirty. I would have did that lady dirtier, bro.
Yup,
Get the
there we
fuck out.
go.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
But there is a problem with American women, Western women. See, she's yelling in this man's face right now as I'm watching it, and because the first time I'm looking at it, and what's even more puzzling is that she picked up the shit and then she uses the same hand to call, I assume, the police. Like, but it's like there's this comfort in disrespecting men today because you can't hit me. And it's like, well, who says I can't hit you? Oh, chivalry says that, but you're not worthy of it. Like, tell me how you're acting like a woman. You're in my face like a man right now, disrespecting me, and then you're gonna throw shit. Literally, you're gonna throw feces at me because I called you out on it because you don't give a fuck. And the
Facts.
problem is, you got a lot of people defending people that doesn't deserve to be defended. You look at Juicy Smollett and that whole bullshit. You got people still defending him, and it's like, how could you defend someone like that's void of any character and decency?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to like there's no shared values, there's no shared standards anymore, and it's like everything. It goes back to them just wanting to wipe out objectivity. Everything is supposed to be looked at through some lens that is yet to be made up. Because it's all on the fly sometimes. It's just total nonsense.
There was
Facts.
this one video I think I shared with everybody except for Dom. But there was a incident like a while back where there was a black male with his I think it was 2 kids on a train, and then this white woman spoke out and saying that he needs to chill out, and then he was like,
Oh yeah.
he was like, yo, say it again. And then she said it again, and he punched the shit out of her. And I think her man was standing there too, and he was just like, oh, you just got hit. He didn't do anything, yo, because it's a thing like where it's like, yo, that she's out of line. Hopefully that's not her man, but
Well,
either way, I'm
it,
sorry.
it makes it makes me think too. Like, all right, so what do you want me to do, society? You've told me as a man I'm toxic. Any masculine traits I exhibit, you deem as a problem. So now you got me in this situation where a woman's being beat up in front of me. Do you want me to bring out those masculine traits that you tell me I should subdue all the time, that you're constantly suppressing, telling me I should be more like a woman? I should think more like a woman, be more feminine. Oh, it's funny how you cherry pick that again. It's like now in this situation where you want a man to step up because it's clear men and women are different. We're not the same. Men are built differently. Now you want me to act like a man. And that's again where this whole thing is so incoherent.
Yeah, because it's funny because like that everybody stood around while this girl got blasted in the face because she just couldn't keep her fucking mouth shut. And it's like, it's like, yo, those are his kids. That's what he's dealing with, And it's like, just because he's yelling at his kids and you don't like it, you don't get the right to intervene and be like, oh, because I'm a citizen, I'm a concerned citizen, I'm gonna give my 2 cents. It's like people need to learn, men and women, that there's consequences to every action that you do.
Yo, and that's true. It's like, and this is one of those uncomfortable things that never gets talked about, especially working in an office environment. Women can get away with talking to men differently, and it's a double standard that like I'm kind of on board with, because men sort of know if you're in a verbal disagreement, right? And it doesn't matter if you're in the workplace, outside of the workplace, men always know, and it doesn't need to be conscious, like at the forefront of your mind, but you always know with another guy, there's a line here that if I cross, this could get physical. That is a possibility, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether it's, subconscious or not, it's always there. But with women,
That's a great point.
it's like it's not there, and women sort of know that subconsciously. Like, I can push this guy as far as I want with my words. What's he gonna do? He ain't gonna touch me. That always bothers me. Like that never gets talked about because it is a thing.
Word.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Oh, I was gonna say, so with that video, the guy punched the girl for not minding her business. I did say to Sean, I didn't agree with him hitting her. I get why he did, but
Yeah.
me personally, I wouldn't do it. I've told like my girl this, exes this all the time. I will never hit a woman unless my life feels threatened, or if they throw like, if you spit on me or throw dog shit at me, I'm fucking you up, like whatever. But
That dog shit.
if you're just yelling, saying mean things and blah blah, like I'm not gonna hit you, like because I know I could fuck you up, like. Just as a man, I know I could fuck you up. But my thing is like, and I saw this was years ago. I was probably like 10 years old, and this shit stuck with me. I was watching Judge Judy with my grandma, and the kid was getting sued or some shit because he hit a girl. And you know how they do the interviews after the show, how everybody gets to say their piece. The kid simply said, and he walked off, "This is the most G-ish shit I ever heard in my life." The guy was like, "So how do you feel about the verdict?" He was like, "I don't even care about the verdict. She was man enough to hit me. She man enough to get hit back." I was like, yo, that's a fucking fact, bro. She man enough to hit me. She man enough to get hit back. It's like, this is my thing, because I go off of words and what they mean. You can't ask for equality, and then when equality happens, you bitch about it. You can't do that, bro. Pick a side. You playing double dutch, bro. Like, you can't do that shit.
But yeah, that's the thing, though. If you're gonna, I mean, in no way, shape, or form are we advocating spousal abuse or just beating on women. Period.
What's sad is there's gonna be somebody listening to that says that we are, bro. That's how sad this world is.
But that's why I gotta clear it up, because like you can't deny audio, I guess, or recording. I mean, like we're saying what we're saying, and then I just cleared it up right there. If there's any, confusion, but there's a caveat where, like you said, if you're going to put yourself in a position where, and I used to be against that, man. I used to be so like, yo, don't put your hands on a woman, all this stuff like that. But there's these women who prey on that, you know, and they go like, yo, I'm gonna tear you apart, either you know, financially or verbally humiliate you in front of people. And there's like this guy on the subway, man. He's dealing with his kids, man, and like because society is saying you can't discipline them now, you get child protective services called on you.
Literally.
It's like, yo, I'm at a loss. Like, how do I like form my children into respectable people, you know, who are acting, you know, in a manner that's like, you know, just appropriate.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't. I'm not saying that you gotta beat your kids, but the thing is, it's getting to this point now where, like, why are they gonna listen to you when they don't even respect you? You know?
I should probably clear up too. I think as earlier I said a double standard. I agree with men and women and disagreements. It's like this is the double standard. The way that I talk to women is definitely different than the way that I would talk to a man, like in the workplace, outside of work, and it's because of that unspokenness thing with a man where yeah, if I push this too far, this guy could end up fucking, you know, punching me.
Right.
And the reason it's a double standard I sort of agree with is like Loren just said, dude, I you know, you take a man who's 5'10", 190 pounds and a woman who's 5'10", 190 pounds. I'm putting my money on the man all day long. If they're actually going to fight, we're built structurally different. It's just genetics. It's biology. There is a sort of innate protection that men have over women. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'll even ask the listeners this, like, so what do you do when you have a male, all right, who's, let's say 5'5", you know, a buck fucking 30, you know, whatever. And then you got this towering fucking 6'4", you know, fucking female, you know, that is like badgering him and like assaulting him. Does he get the right to defend himself at that point? Because you know what I mean? I mean, because everybody wants to prey on this thing. It's like, oh, she's smaller than you. It's like not a fair advantage. And like, yes, I agree. I get it. But it's like, where does it become okay if this short male who is like has almost like a traditional female stature, you know what I mean? And you know, you got this fucking Amazon woman like fucking assaulting him. Does he have the right to bust her ass? No. Right?
Like,
why? Because she's a woman.
This generation gonna say no because they retarded.
But he's being assaulted.
I can't even say retarded anymore. That's how shitty this world is, bro.
But he's being assaulted. That's my point. You know what I mean? Like, where does it come? Like, why can't we defend ourselves?
You know, I saw an example. I think I was a sophomore or a junior at the high, at Albany High. We were in the courtyard at lunchtime, and this chick came out, pretty big girl, and she was up in this dude's face. There was a ton of people surrounding them. Like, I don't know if he had ripped her weave out or if another girl ripped her weave out and he was making fun of her. But either way, she was up in his face, and then she started punching him. She was big.
Yeah.
And he was pretty big too. I remember he was taller than her, but she kept hitting him. And me and a few of my friends, one of them said, yo, look at his hands. He was like adjusting his rings on his finger. And he kept telling her, he's like, yo, stop. I'm going to hit you. Like, he warned her like 4 or 5 times as she's punching him.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get away. And dude, he ended up fucking cocking back. He hit this chick so hard, dead in her forehead. Like, somehow she stayed conscious. But I remember thinking, because at the time I had the same mentality of like, never hit a woman, no matter what, never hit a woman. But I'm like, what's he supposed to do? Just let this chick beat the shit out of him? And he kept warning her like over and over, and she wouldn't stop. And he punched, he almost knocked her out. It did change my mind a bit. I'm like, yeah, dude, if you're getting wrecked, you know, physically by somebody, I don't care who they are. Like, you got a right to defend yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, I also want to clear up, in no way, shape, or form do I condone what that guy did on the subway. I'm not saying that's the same as, you know, defending, you know,
right,
defending yourself. Obviously, he just blasted her in her face, but you know, but still, I do think that people need to realize, especially women, need to realize like that there's consequences to everything that you do. And he warned her as well. He said, "Listen, you keep running. You say it again. Say it again." you know, and she called him, you know, she called his bluff, and nope, he answered the call.
But that's an example. Like a lot of guys, if he was saying that to another guy, you know, like say it again. I bet you the guy probably would have stayed silent because he's like, yeah, this guy's gonna fucking knock my ass out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That girl's thinking he ain't gonna hit me, you know.
And the funny thing that happened was he blasted her in the face, and then everybody was just like, "Oh shit, that just happened," and that was it.
Nobody did anything.
You got a couple guys going, "Yo, man, that ain't right," but they knew. But I feel like everybody in close proximity was like, "Yo, I know the context, so I'm gonna chill,"
Yeah.
because he had I understand. You know, I got kids. He'd be like, I got kids too. So it's like, yo, I'm dealing with these motherfuckers, and then I gotta listen to this stranger. Like, who are you? Tell me to chill out. You chill out. I'm gonna make you chill. I'm gonna blast you in your face.
Oh yeah. I wanted to bring this up real quick. So nowadays, you know, COVID hit, y'all turn pussy and shit. A lot of kids are doing remote learning, like doing school at home. And it's like I feel like this is gonna contribute to I can't think of another word to call people like all the fake woke shit and all the sensitives and all the so I'm gonna go back to early 2000s and I'm gonna wear the coat as a bully because I don't care anymore. This remote learning shit is gonna turn a lot of kids into losers. And this is why I say this. Going to school, you learn how to interact with people. By not going to school, you're not gonna really know how to interact with people. So you figure you got kindergartners through like fourth grade staying at home, staring at a computer screen. It's like they're not learning the concept of how to share, uh, snack time. Yo, you can't just eat how you want, bro. You gotta be neat with your like they're missing out on so much shit that they're learning. And I feel like it's gonna contribute into being more sensitive. They're gonna gain what's like prevalent nowadays, anxiety and depression and all this other
Obesity,
nutty shit.
you know, massive
Because
obesity.
yeah, word, because they're not going to school and
No physical education. No, they're not getting that. You know,
there's that playing fucking Fortnite and bro, it's this remote learning shit is really bad for the system, but nobody's gonna see it until it's too late.
the thing is, like, you're kind of already seeing like some of the ramifications of it, because like there's like a bunch of articles stating that like kids are failing classes because of the remote learning, because a lot of them are either saying they're doing this thing where like they're going, oh, my Zoom's not working, and then they'll go fucking play, like you said, they'll go play Fortnite, you know. So they're like, you know, they're becoming manipulators in order to like, you know, not take classes, and just it's a shit show, man.
And this is, I feel like I'm not trying to get like deeper and deeper, but the remote learning is now going into like the meta world or metaverse and all this Oculus bullshit. And it's like I saw a video on YouTube. These people were like in this world doing like virtual reality shit, and this girl told this guy to stop following her because she's feeling harassed in a fucking video game, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
In a video game, like this is what the world is coming to. And like I said, I don't know how else to say it, but it's making a lot of people just fucking losers, bro. Like niggas are losers and they're okay with that. This is another ignorant statement I shouldn't say, but I'm going to. We need to bring bullying back. Prevalent, this shit was not going on, bro.
No more participation trophies.
I blame participation. Like, bro, you're getting a trophy for simply playing, even though you suck ass and you're probably the reason why we lost. You get a trophy? Yo, suck a dick, bro. Suck a dick.
I mean that's so rampant in corporate life, in the way that see again. God, it's so frustrating, man. That all ties into the whole like equity charge. You know, it's like since Michael Jordan can fly through the fucking air, but you know the other team members can't. We're gonna ask Michael, hey, can you tone that down a little bit so we can create a more equitable, you know, environment for everyone else. You're making other people uncomfortable with your skill. And I'm not exaggerating. Like this is the kind of shit that's going on in schools academically. And you know, they think that they're like, you know, helping minority students who maybe aren't doing as well on standardized tests or this or that. That's actually, you know, bigoted and racist what they're doing. They're treating these kids or like, you know, in the corporate world, they're treating adults like they're not capable of just being their best selves or, you know, or meeting certain criteria. So instead of, they're just going to lower the bar for everyone else and crush the people that actually could be raising everybody up, because equity. It's absolutely insane.
Well, the thing is, like, you want to instill like trying harder and like sportsmanship and like camaraderie, but the thing is, like, I think the whole like giving people participation trophies and then telling the ones that are excelling to tone it down is like completely counterproductive to camaraderie. It's just like you're not
You're gonna make everyone dumber.
yeah, man. Yeah. There you go.
Yo, if I was hooping and we made it to like a tournament and we lost, and I saw some of my teammates getting trophies and they sucked and they're the reason why we lost, I'm fighting them in the locker room, bro. Fucking fighting them, bro.
But rightfully so. It's just like you should be giving it your all. Everybody should be giving it your all. And then you should know consequence. You should know what it feels like to lose and then try harder.
Yeah.
What happens when you don't? You get encouraged to be like, that's all right that you didn't really give a fuck.
Well, but yo, Shawn, you're right. Because it's like, what's the incentive to do my best? Like, if I'm the best on the team, what's the incentive to do my best when everyone's going to get the trophy anyway? And they're going to ask me to tone it down when I do exhibit how good I am. Why would I even try?
Right. Yeah. No point.
Yeah.
So.
Can't wait to vote for Trump just to piss people off, man.
Yeah, you know what kills me too? I'll throw this in. Maybe this could be a positive wave. One of the things that really drives me nuts is this current generation trying to act like it's a big deal if they're dating somebody of a different skin color. In other words, like, it's groundbreaking that a white dude and a black woman are dating. It's like they're trying to pretend that all the progress that was made, because it wasn't perfect, because it wasn't utopian, we're going to pretend that it like didn't even happen. And I'm like, dude, you're telling me that like my childhood and my teenage years didn't happen then. Like, the first girl I ever like called my girlfriend, which is, when you're in like grade school and it's like, do you like me? Yes, I like you. Cool. You're my girlfriend. It was a black girl named LaQuisha. And it's like, that was like 1992 probably. And that was progress. Like, you got teased Jungle Fever because that was still a relevant movie. But like nobody was, coming after us for it. Our parents didn't, give a shit. It might have been a little odd for the parents at that time because it wasn't super accepted like the way that it is now. I guess my point is like in 2021, don't tell me it's a groundbreaking thing or, the word's escaping me, but like that's not a big deal in 2021. Nobody gives a shit in 2021. We got past that. Our generation got past that shit.
Yeah, that's a fact. Oh yeah, and I want to take this time to, anybody who was supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, you guys are dumb as hell because them niggas was buying Lamborghinis and shit while you barely get money for your fucking rent, bitch ass.
They're not investing in the community. They're living in the same communities that they call the enemy. You're living in a white community with all this money and cars, like you're saying, Loren, and they're supposed to be the enemy. That's
what I'm saying. I forgot to bring this up. One of my bullet points is the fake woke shit on Instagram. All you bum ass niggas putting all these stupid ass quotes up that you don't even live by, talking about you getting money, and I see you broke in real life, nigga. Fuck you. This shit be getting me so tight, bro. I've been seeing, and then people posting whenever there's like, let's say black man gets shot and then the person goes to jail and they just post something on let's talk. Let me see. Let me give an example. Let's go back to Mike Brown or whatever. You got people that'll post pictures and stupid ass gay quotes and shit, and it's like, bro, that's not really fighting the cause. You're in your house drinking your bum ass Starbucks coffee order, posting something on Instagram. You're not in the field, you're not in the street trying to get shit done, bro. This shit is corny to me. If there's a social injustice and all you do is post something on your stupid ass Instagram page, you're a part of the problem, bro. You're a part of the problem. When COVID hit And what's the crackhead that got killed? George Floyd. When George Floyd got killed or whatever, me and my boys went out to the city. I was going to no bullshit. I was looking to fight cops and shit. A lot of you niggas was just still in the house posting shit to Instagram, feeling that you're doing something. Me and others were really in the field ready to put in work. But what were you niggas doing? Not a damn thing. I can't fuck with people that do that shit, bro. And that's a stone cold fact. And this goes back to COVID too. COVID was so contagious and all this shit. I'm in New York City saying we shall overcome, ready to fight police with no mask on, and I never got that shit. Weird. But I digress.
I was in the house making George Floyd posters.
That shit had to be tight, bro. Like I'm like, I would go, so I'm out. I made it back home unscathed and shit. Cops about to arrest us and book us. I come home and I see niggas just posting videos from CNN and MSNBC. It's like, what? You niggas wasn't out here putting in work. You don't even deserve to post. You don't deserve to post that shit, bro. You was not putting in no work. Fuck y'all. I'm sorry, I had to say
Canceled.
that.
Yo, what you think about fat shaming?
Oh my God, bro. Yo, listen. I'm gonna say this right now, bro. I'm sorry, man. You said it. Yo, no bullshit. And I've been seeing this too on Instagram. This is why I deleted my shit, because I'm seeing a lot of bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like having a little weight, being chubby, and being like morbidly obese. If you're saying that being morbidly obese is beautiful and love it, you are a piece of shit. You have mental health issues and you're a part of the problem, bro.
And
That's it. That's it. That's all.
All right.
And being that you guys don't like the definition of words, look up morbidly obese. That is not beautiful. It's not cute. It's not funny. You need fucking help. Put the plate down. Go get help.
You like those TikTok videos where they're just like, yo, you gotta love this, and they be eating cupcakes.
It's like, yo, and I'm
out.
fucking say when you have a heart attack, I will have no remorse for you. I cannot pity that stupid shit, bro. I cannot.
Well, it is that's the thing, man. It is harming people because you got a disease right now that, at one point, the CDC's numbers was like 78% of people hospitalized with COVID were obese. So this whole, love your body movement, how do you reconcile that with 78% of everyone who's hospitalized with COVID is obese? You're hurting people by telling them to love their body if they're obese and overweight, when if you quote unquote believe the science, that they have the highest risk of getting hospitalized and dying from this disease.
That shit work. I hate that quote, trust the science and all that shit.
It's become a religious like signal. I hate it too. It's fucking like especially because they have no idea what they're even the same people that like say that shit. I guarantee you, if I go to their house, they've got 15,000 different, homeopathic vitamins and supplements and all kinds of shit that's not regulated by the FDA. And I have some of that shit in my cabinet too, but I don't go around claiming I quote unquote believe in the science, or believe the science.
Word. There was somebody that said to me, because I was like, I'm not anti-vax, but I was like, people shouldn't have to get it if they don't want to. But I was like, I don't really trust the science. I'm like, because I got the vax myself. I got that shit. And I was like, yo, I'm ashamed to have this card because like I literally got it for no reason. I forgot who it was. And that person was like, yeah, being ashamed of trusting the science. It couldn't be me. And it's like, my nigga, we out here getting the vaccine just to still get COVID. It's like, that's your science that you're backing right now?
Well,
Yeah, and that's what pisses me off too. It's like these people don't admit when they're wrong. It's like, yo, you did sell this vaccine as something that could stop transmission and stop infection. You did say that. There's videos. Like, go look it up. I'm not doing your homework for you. It's like, you want to instill trust in the public, just start being humble. Admit, say, yeah, you know what? When we were saying in the beginning of this, pandemic, or when we got the vaccine rather, that it was going to be our ticket out of this, it's going to stop transmission. You don't have to. We were wrong. We didn't really have the data to even make those statements. We got ahead of ourselves. We fucked up. I'm going to trust that person if they say something like that.
Facts. If they came out with a booster right now, today, and said that there's a 50% possibility you will get AIDS from this, I guarantee you millions still take it.
From that video you showed when the woman threw shit at the guy, I just want to give a big shout out to Mia Khalifa, who in 2020, I think it was, took her dog on a walk. Her dog took a shit. She looked around because she didn't have napkins, and she took her face mask off, collected the shit, put it in the garbage, and put the face mask back on her face.
Nice.
Oh,
So,
Oh.
you know, she hits up athletes and baits them as if they're sweating her, but yet this mediocre looking bitch puts dog shit back on her face. I just wanted to bring that up. That's what I thought of.
It's a good shout out.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
Shout out to dog shit.
No, shout out to putting dog shit on your face.
But Fig, if anybody throws feces at me of any kind, I'm fucking you up. Anybody. Mike
That's
Tyson,
sense.
you can
And
take
then,
this
bro,
down.
she wiped her hand in her hair as she has her phone. Yo, the bitch put shit in her hair and on her phone, yo.
That is disgusting.
I gotta
Yo.
find that.
Yo.
I gotta find that
Guarantee
video.
you, Coochie smells like old
Oh my
ranch.
God, man.
Damn. Nah,
You
she
gotta
ain't
be-
smell like ranch. She smell like shit.
We gotta be inclusive to her lived experience, though.
What is her pronouns again? So
Come on, guys, stop it. We can't be shit shaming. We can't.
damn.
That's another thing, bro. Shaming. Like, get the. Oh my God, bro. I'm done because I'll keep going for hours. I hate this world and what it's become.
Yeah, we could always do a part 2.
That's what we need to do a part 2 because there's this whole shaming and then the slut shaming. Yo, if you a thought, you a thought. I don't give a fuck. Like, you are. I'm not shaming shit. I'm calling a spade a spade. If you're a hoe, you're a hoe. It's not shaming shit. That's just what you are. Like, be
At
proud
least
of it.
you is considerate enough to throw it in the trash.
Shit is fucking hate y'all.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Whoa. But I mean, you know what? The thing is, though, I'm not defending her, but she was in porn, and it was like the amount of shit that No, I'm saying, bro, like the amount of stuff that she done in porn. I'm sure. I mean, rimming dudes,
Trips to
and,
Dubai also and shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dubai. Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard
so,
about that shit.
yeah.
You know, like Loren was out in Dubai.
Yo, low key, this I'm glad y'all brought that up. That whole Dubai phase was hilarious to me. These Instagram models and shit was getting flown out to get shit on, and then came
Yes.
back with sob stories, and I
Very
was laughing at all of them, bro.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, I got 80 grand. So one tried to justify it. She said, I think she came back with like 80 grand. And it's like, so you're willing to lose. Like, you'll never forget that.
Yeah.
You'll never forget that.
But damn, what a business.
Yeah.
You know, just getting like
And
see, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about equality? Like I can't, as a man, I can't go get flown somewhere and somebody take a dump in my face. Not for that money. You know?
Nah,
You
it's
get those opportunities.
it's ignorant to say, but yeah, there's like, and that's just the beauty of it, of being a man and a woman. There's different pros and cons to both. Yo, a girl flash her titty right now, she can make 100K. If I whip my dick out, I'm going to jail. It's just pros and cons, bro. Just accept who you are and what you are. It's okay. I can't make a OnlyFans and make 100 bands in a month, bro. But you can. You're beautiful. You got gorgeous tits and a nice ass. You can do that. Now, if you went to a workplace and you try to become CEO, it probably won't happen because you're a woman. But hey, go make an OnlyFans, make 100K. Like, yo, pros and cons, bro.
But you're being objectified in the patriarchy and the filibuster.
And that may be it. But that's the world we live in, my nigga. You suck it up.
You got the GOP fucking
SEC,
philanthropy.
fucking Peter.
I can't fucking understand any of that shit. I'm ignorant as fuck. But anyway, yeah, man. Yo, thank you guys again. I'm gonna end on that note. Thank you so much, Doug. Yo, bro, excellent. Neek, phenomenal.
Bro, both of y'all, you guys are my what do these weirdos say? Spirit animals. You guys are my spirit animals. I say shit ignorantly, and y'all make it sound nice. So I need y'all with me, yo.
Nah, I appreciate you guys also. Thanks for having us on. Shout out to Doug.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, stay black.
You. Yeah, Doug, stay black. All right, man. Thanks again.
All right.
All right, y'all.